is said, Grandier had 12 good years. In his life as a parish priest, he was outstandingly successful and intelligent, with a reputation as a preacher that exceeded far beyond the limits of town. Within the fixed social structure of his time, he had come up in the world and he was accepted into the best of society as an equal through his efforts and good stock, which expressed a background from moderately well-seen families. Urbain Grandier was born in France in 1590, and the events we'll describe next lead to his untimely death August 18, 1634 in LOUDUN, where he was burnt at the stake, convicted of witchcraft after the famous LOUDUN possessions in 1632. Grandier was a French Catholic priest who is now largely considered a victim of a politically motivated persecution led by the powerful Cardinal Richelieu. He attended the Jesuit College of La Madeleine du Bordeaux, where his uncle was a priest of moderate influence within its core. When they held the right to appoint a parish priest for the Church of Saint-Pierre-du-Marche in LOUDUN, Grandier was appointed to fill the gap. As the eldest son and with newfound career, he was able to support his widowed mother and siblings. His valuable position within the Catholic Church caused some resentment and jealousy amongst his peers. It's rumored Grandier had multiple relationships with women, believed by some even to have fathered a son. He was famously good-looking and had a more lenient view of sex and religion, marriage and priesthood, leading to even more enemies, some of which would come by most unexpectedly and be the ultimate downfall into his unfair fall. There is a common view that at certain points in history, convents were places where young girls were forced to go against their will. It is widely assumed it was a way of locking them up, either by parents or other similar authorities, because they were either unable or too old to find a husband, poor, difficult, wild-tempered, who knows. If we go by these portrayals, then we can assume they are akin to misfits, living a life of boredom, willfully saying their prayers but yearning for something more every day. One of these nuns was Jeanne, which some say might well have been infatuated with Grandier, as she asked him to be the appointed spiritual director or confessor of her convent, which he probably refused. Humiliated, Jeanne began holding a large grudge against him, and as some would say, a vicious revenge. In 1632, a group of nuns from the same convent accused him of having bewitched them, sending the demon Asmodai, amongst others, to commit evil and imprudent acts with them. According to a novelist on the subject, Sister Jeanne, enraged by his previous refusal, accuses Grandier of using black magic to seduce her. Gradually, the other nuns at the convent begin making similar accusations, escalating into the possession and witnessing of demons. Fueled by enemy disdain and a wish to overpower him, powerful people amongst Catholicism began driving a plot against him, led by the infamous Cardinal Richelieu, whom also shared a large disdain for Grandier. The cardinal seized this opportunity for private vengeance and wrote to the state councilor at LOUDUN, asking him to begin a strict investigation of the charges, plainly implying that what he really sought was Grandier's destruction. Accusations came back and forth, either followed or preceded by brief moments of quietness. But as his enemies rose together, his arrest finally came once they visited him at his family home, where his mother stood firmly guarding Grandier's bedroom door. On the evening of August 17, 1634, the judges hold public prayers to implore God aid in helping them search their conscience in preparation for Grandier's incoming trial. The following day, August 18, 1634, at 5 o'clock in the morning, they meet at the Carmelite convent to give their judgment. The sentence was read aloud.
We declare that said Urbain Grandier is guilty of the crimes of sorcery, evil spells, and the possessions witnessed upon some Muslim nuns and other laywomen in the town of LOUDUN, together with other crimes.
Grandier was, therefore, found guilty and sentenced to death. The judges who condemned him ordered that he was put to the extraordinary question, a form of torture which was usually but not immediately fatal. As such, it was only administered to those who were to be executed immediately after, and in Grandier's case, his execution was said to be by burning at the stake, as per usual for those accused of severe acts of witchcraft in Europe at the time of the events. Despite enormous amounts of torture, including what is called the Spanish boot, which shattered and burned his lower legs, he still never confessed to witchcraft and managed to stay alive and somewhat coherent as he was strapped to a pole so he could be burnt at the stake for his supposed crimes. When the fire had burned out, the executioner took some of the ashes and threw them to the four winds as the sentence required. Many of the spectators rushed to grab Grandier's ashes as a souvenir. It is rumored the nuns at the Ursuline convent continued to exhibit signs of demonic possession even after Grandier's execution in 1634. So if you want to know a little bit more of what it's like to be a rebel within the Catholic Church and Catholicism in the 17th century, you should definitely check out Grandier's story and biography and the movie The Devils, because I think you might like it. So yeah, that's it, and